I believe this is a very high level fight, but one of the things too, I've been training with Omar for 10 years. In the last 5 years, I never see nobody take Omar down. And I think it's going to be very, very difficult for anyone in the world, not just Marab, to take Omar down. And I think Omar is going to decide where the fight going to go. If Omar want to take him down, I believe he can take him down. And I think if Omar is going to strike with him, he's going to strike with him. And I think Omar is good everywhere.
When would you guys want to do this?
It doesn't matter. It can be next week, next month, January, February. It doesn't matter. Whenever the UFC tell us, we're ready. But I believe Omar is going to be a champion for a long time. I believe Omar will beat Khabib's record, and I think he will retire at 30-0. This is his main goal. But he have to get permission from his big brother if he can break his record. But for sure, he told me, I don't have much time. I need to fight 3-4 times a year. I have to beat Khabib's record before I retire, or at least 29-0.
You mentioned Khabib. What would father say right now with what Khabib's doing with his two cousins? Are both 18-0. Obviously, Islam's the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. How proud would he be of his guys?
I think, man, this is a system. Khabib following his father's footstep. I believe he's a guy who come to camp, spend $200,000-300,000 out of his own pocket to help his teammate and treat him really well. Now he's a little bit spoiled because they have a big brother who's have a little bit of money, and everybody was here, man. It was great. I'm sure it's going to be a camp again for Islam. Is going to fight soon, and Umar. Hopefully they can fight at the same time, maybe January, and just his father will be very proud for what he's doing right now.
Is it possible to say that Khabib is turning into a better coach than he was a fighter?
Man, it's hard to say that. I think Khabib was the greatest of all the time. I don't care what Dana says. I love Dana, but I think Dana's wrong. But I think Khabib is the greatest of all the time.
Dana will say that's John Jones. His fight was announced over the weekend, as was Michael Chandler returning to fight Charles Oliveira. No Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler. What happened there? And could one of your guys perhaps be the next opponent for Mr. McGregor?
Listen, I think this guy's. I personally don't think he ever gonna fight again. But it's a fight out there. It's always been looming. If he decides to fight again, and I think he can fight Gaethje. Gaethje doesn't have a fight. They don't have a fight. But at the end of the day, nobody's going to back for this fight, and nobody's going to campaign for this fight. If this is what he wants, that's what the UFC want, I think Justin Gaethje would like to smash his face. 100%. I would love seeing Justin Gaethje smash his face. Everybody know I don't like this guy. None of us like him, but but he brings a lot of unique things to the table, and Justin is open to it, to fight someone like him.
So you think they've been talking for a long time, and he never seemed to want it. If Conor was to say, all right, I'll fight Justin Gaethje, Justin's on board?
Justin is on board. He wanted to fight the easier fight. Mike Chandler is the easiest fight than Justin Gaethje. He's not going to inflict as much damage on Justin and on Conor. But he does his own thing, and he decides his own destiny. And listen, I'm sure if he called the UFC, said, hey, I want to fight Justin Gaethje, and if I beat Justin Gaethje, I want to fight Islam Makhachev for the title, right? The UFC said gonna sign on it. But I don't know if he can compete at this level. And maybe he is, maybe he's not. God knows.
You mentioned Islam. Where do we stand on Islam's next fight? How's he doing?
Islam is good, man. Islam is good. He's good to go. He's good to go. He's gonna begin camp here very soon. Hopefully the UFC gives us a date. And he's good to go. Islam is he's hungry, man. He's coming. Whatever the UFC give him, we have not know who's the opponent, who's the date, but whoever it is, whatever it is, Islam is ready.
Could Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira, I feel like they both had that opportunity before. Could they be fighting perhaps for another title shot?
It doesn't matter. If you are UFC champion, you fight whoever, whenever the UFC tell you. If you're the champion, you don't choose opponent. It's a quote in the UFC PI. What Islam Makhachev said. if you're a champion, you need to fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. Doesn't matter.
How much does he want to get that Arman one back? I mean, he beat him, but you hear, him, Arman saying, "Oh, I'm the closest to ever beat him." Does he want that one back to prove that he's the better fighter?
Brother, like I said, it doesn't matter. Arman, Charles, Chandler, Islam need to go out there and dominate whoever needs to. Doesn't matter who. And if it's Arman, okay. If it's Chandler, okay. If it's Alvarez, okay. If it's Gaethje, okay. It doesn't matter. Islam will not gonna choose opponent.
Someone you're working with now, we talked to recently, and he's making his return, Jorge Masvidal. Where does that stand? He thought that the UFC was interested, but either way, it seems like Gamebred wants to get back in there.
Listen, man, Jorge Masvidal, it's a very unique star. He's a very unique star. He's been around for a long time. I think we all respect him as a competitor, and I think anytime who he show up on a fight card, he make an impact. And he drive pay-per-view sales, he drive gate sales, he drive everything. And this week or next week, I'm having a meet with the UFC about him and with Hunter, and we're gonna figure out what his future looks like. But he have a lot of opportunities out there, and we would like to see what's next for him. But for now, I don't really have an answer.